And then you got Gabriel came to Joseph to tell him his child was conceived according to prophecy and to take his wife and not to worry. He told Joseph that the child was the Messiah according to scripture. And then Joseph didn't have sex with Mary until Yahawashi was born. That's the order of the events that happened. All right. Um, and then people say that and knew her not till she had brought forth her firstborn son. People say that he knew her not again. All right. But it doesn't have to say that. They'll say, well, why doesn't it say again there in the scripture? It doesn't have to say that, all right? Because when you look at the context and the information that was given beforehand, you understand, all right, the whole reason she was pregnant was because he had sex with her, all right? But I'm going to show you that it does not always have to say again when it's mentioning someone having sex. And I'm giving an example. When you read 1 Samuel 1:19, all right, it says, and they rose up early in the early morning early. Slaki, start over from the top. And they rose up in the morning early and worshipped before the Lord and returned and came into their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew his wife, and Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. Wherefore it came to pass when the time was come about after Hannah had conceived that she bare a son and called his name Samuel, saying, because I have asked of the Lord. All right. So if you isolate these two verses, you could say that that was the first time that they had sex. Like if you just read that, you'll say, okay, he went into her and she was able to have a child. But you got to understand the context of everything. So it didn't say here that he knew her again. It just says that he went in unto her. All right. So it doesn't put again there, but through the context that it means again, because I'm going to show you that they had already been having sex. All right. Because when you read 1 Samuel 1, 2, and 5, you see that they were having sex because they were trying to have children, but it tells you that her womb was closed. And it tells you that the other wife's womb was open. All right, she was able to have children, so they were engaging in sex. So she was not a virgin when he finally went into her and she conceived. It's just that it doesn't have to mention it again because of the context of the story. All right, so it doesn't have to say again, and that's the same thing that's in Matthew 1:25. All right, so. The next point I want to get to, and this is the last major topic point, is that Christ's birth must line up with prophecy for it to be Yahawashi's birth. All right. An example, when you read 1 Chronicles 17:11, it says, and it shall come to pass when thy days be expired that thou must go to be with thy fathers, that I will raise up thy seed after thee, which shall be of thy sons, all right, and I will establish his kingdom. All right. So this is a prophecy that has to line up with the birth and concerning Yahawashi. All right. Now it says that he will the promised child will be raised up after his seed and of his sons. All right. So you can't get this prophecy fulfilled through Mary alone. That's impossible. And I'm going to show you why. When you go to First Chronicles 28:5, listen to what was stated. And of all my sons, for the Lord hath given me many sons, he hath chosen Solomon my son to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. So this clearly shows that Solomon was chosen for the lineage to go through. All right. So if you say that Yahawashi was immaculately conceived, then that would mean that you're going to totally negate this prophecy right here, and then you're going to say that it came through Mary. And we know for a fact that Mary does not trace back to Solomon's lineage through her fathers. It traces back to Nathan. All right. So we see that we already went through seed is the man's sperm, so it had to go through the fathers. And the prophecy clearly states that it will be of his sons, all right, that the Savior will be risen up that will rule, and his kingdom shall never end, all right. So in conclusion, if you don't understand the birth of Christ, you still have to acknowledge the prophecies concerning him, all right? So if you don't even understand what I went into when it's going into Matthew, when it's going into the culture, when it's going into the marriage feast or the tokens of virginity, with all of that, if you still don't understand that, when you go through these simple prophecies like I did with Isaiah 7 and 14, showing that prophecy, it shows that it actually pertained to Isaiah's wife as well. And it shows that Isaiah's wife was not a virgin. She had a son already and then had the son that the prophecy was concerning. And then when you go into the prophecy concerning David and his lineage, it's showing you that it had to come through his sons. But also it shows you in First Chronicles that it was not Nathan chosen, it was Solomon chosen for the lineage to go through. So this is why we went through all the particular points in history where you see that it was not everybody of a person's lineage that was chosen, it was specific people, all right? So, again, don't stumble over this. This is not a big issue, really, when you actually come down to it. But it is something that once you get the understanding of it, it helps open up the doors of your understanding so that you can be able to grasp and avoid other things that are not of the Most High that could lead you going down a trail of false doctrine, all right? So, again, don't stumble over it. Hope this is edifying for the elect. And, just don't make any new doctrine, Let's just stick with what's written in the scripture. Let's get away from the Roman and the Catholic and the Christian mindset, and let's be strictly for the scriptures and what the scriptures say and what the scriptures pertain to, all right? So, again, I say, Shalom.